Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for checking back. And this time, instead of doing another DIY sushi episode, I want to talk a little bit about cutting boards, because a quality board is one of the most valuable pieces of equipment you should have in your kitchen, and it's just as important as having a good knife. And from my experience, I've realized many people often overlook this, so I want to make a short video on how to help you guys pick the right board to use. As a chef, using a premium board along with the right knife is like the perfect marriage. What do I mean by this? Well, both will complement each other in the long run. And to make better sense, let's start off by defining what are some of the features of a quality cutting board. So what are they? Well, for one, it should have a soft surface similar to that of real wood, if not softer. And two, it should have textured surface so it's non-slip. And this way the surface can grip onto the food you're cutting. And this is especially important when cutting fish for sushi. And three, it should be as non-absorbent as possible because this will prevent the growth of bacteria. So a non-porous surface is essential. And four, it should not warp or crack over time. And this tends to happen to wooden boards because wood shrinks and expands throughout its life. And depending on the quality of the design and material, a wooden board can last for years or only months. And lastly, five, it should be long lasting. A quality cutting board will last for decades, if not a lifetime, and still maintain its original shape and texture. And when it comes to cutting boards, there are several good options to choose from. There is wood, plastic, and synthetic rubber. Now all three have their pros and cons, but there is only one that is superior and meets all the criteria, and this is the Japanese synthetic rubber. These rubber boards are close replicas to real wood in terms of softness and texture, but even better because this material is almost non-absorbent and doesn't warp or crack. However, because of their soft design, they're really meant for slicing and light chopping and dicing, so they're not ideal for heavy action like with a butcher knife, or else you'll end up gouging it and damaging the surface. But this is the same for many wood and plastic boards, so it's not a deal breaker. So now that you know what to look for, let me give you some options. The two brands that is commonly used by professional Japanese chefs are Asahi and Hasegawa. Both of these are high quality Japanese rubber boards that meet all five criteria mentioned before. However, they're very expensive and range from a couple hundred to a few $100s depending on the size you want, but they're the best, especially the Asahi boards. These are cutting boards that I've used throughout my earlier days as a chef, and I can't say enough good things about them. They're almost magical in a way because no matter how much they're abused, they always seem to self-heal themselves. They're so durable and yet gentle on your blade at the same time. However, these are pretty dense boards and might be too heavy for some at home. So if you're concerned about the weight, my second suggestion is going with the Hasegawa board. And instead of a complete solid rubber structure like the Asahi, this board has a wooden core inside, so it's lighter and easier to handle. And personally, right now, this is the main cutting board I use in my own kitchen. And the one I have is 35 by 15 inch and weighs about 11.5 pounds. And considering how big it is, it's very light relative to its size. And at a current price of $260, I think it's a real bargain when you factor in all the benefit that it comes with. Like having a rough surface so you can grab onto whatever meat I'm working with. And for me, I use this for cutting fish for sushi, so it's perfect. And two, the synthetic rubber is exceptionally soft and easy on your blade. There are times when I can go through several days of cutting before I even have to hone my knife. And if you're accustomed to using Japanese knives, which have thinner blades compared to Western knives, having a soft surface is even more important. And three, since the surface is synthetic rubber, there are no grains or pores for water to absorb into, unlike wood. And this non-resorbent quality is really important because it prevents bacteria from growing. In fact, just to give you an example of how serious this problem can be, places like New York City have banned wood boards in all commercial kitchens. And four, this board will never warp or crack over time, unlike wood or cheap plastic. Overall, the Hasegawa board is one of my greatest assets in the kitchen. And aside from all the benefits I just mentioned, it's also really easy to take care of too. They can be washed just like any other cutting board. In fact, they're also designed to handle boiling water if you feel the need to sterilize it. And they're also bleach safe too. I found that after a couple of months of using it, by spraying it down with a light mixture of bleach and water, this will remove any stubborn stains that I can't get off with detergent. Okay guys, I really hope this has been helpful because I think a lot of people, including professionals, put so much emphasis on choosing a good knife that they forget that a quality cutting board is just as important. So if you're interested in buying one of these boards, check out mtckitchens.com. They carry a huge selection of Japanese restaurant supplies including knives. And they also carry both Asahi and Hasegawa boards in multiple sizes. So if you're in the market for one, check out the link below.